The Powered Paragliding Show, brought to you in conjunction with Paramotor Magazine, with your hosts Michael Purdy, Jeff Goin and Paul Anthem.
Let's fly away.
Welcome to the Powered Paragliding Show. I'm Jeff Goin with Paul Anthem. Michael is away for this show. And hello, Paul.
Hi, Jeff.
Greetings and salutations. We're going to talk about sort of a sad topic a little bit, but Paul has some observations on people who get in and don't stay in. Before we do, something on the bright side. I've heard about Rocket Man. You got to tell us about Rocket Man.
Well, you know, for several years now, I've been wanting to do a real stunt with a real stunt wing that was donated to PPG for Morons for the purpose of destruction. And I thought, what's the best way to do that on film? Well, of course, light it on fire is the best. So, well, let's just say that the moron thinks it's a good idea to put bottle rockets on his wing. That way it'll launch the wing up into the air, and he won't even need a motor. And, well, things go horribly wrong, as it normally does with the moron.
Oh, no.
But luckily, there's a pond nearby. And so this is a real... This is the hardest part. This is why it took so long. It's a real wing, and probably was flyable.
Oh,
and
my
yes,
God, that has to be
painful.
Yes,
It was cut on fire.
Oh, my goodness.
But the amazing part is I actually launched it into the air while it was on fire.
Really? Okay, where do we see this?
Well, you go to YouTube and just type in Fireworks Paraglider. PPG for Morons. Fireworks Paraglider.
Don't you have a website now?
Yes, and I have a brand new website, ppgformorons.com.
Okay, well, just send them there, and then does that direct them to the appropriate YouTube video?
Not yet. Still in construction.
All right, we'll let you slide then. Okay, that's cool. I can't wait to see this. I can't believe I missed it. Well, this is probably why people get out of powered paragliding, huh?
Oh, because their wings catching on fire? No. No, the reason I thought kind of a sad subject, but maybe interesting, is it's sort of a two-tone subject, I guess, that some people get into powered paragliding and then they get out of it. Another facet of looking at that is a good point to always remember when you're flying is that not everybody thinks that powered paragliding is the coolest thing in the world.
Oh, you mean spectators?
It's spectators, yeah.
Oh, yeah, big time.
But actually, that's a whole different story. What I wanted to say is that, there was a person I was talking to just a few weeks ago who's very psyched into getting to powered paragliding. And he had instruction, and had several flights, and then said, oh, that's not for me.
Wow. That's surprising. I mean, if you get to the point where you can launch one of these things, you've made an accomplishment.
Yes. I guess I have to back up on the story a lot. He's an experienced pilot.
You mean experienced in other kinds of flying, airplanes?
Well, he has a single engine rating, and
okay.
he's got 80 hours in the ultralight and 260 hours in GA, general aviation. And he thought powered paragliding would be really neat. He actually still does. He bought the machine. We went over lots of conversations. He was calling me just because, I don't know, I'm the moron. he had an instructor. I don't know why he was asking me anything.
Yeah, but Paul, we know you're only the moron on film. I've watched you fly. You were great pilots. You know what you're doing. So anyway.
But, I tried to give him, early on, a few pointers about kiting and stuff. And he was a very knowledgeable person. Well,
how was he as a pilot? I know you don't want to rag on him or anything, but I mean, was he very competent or was he just kind of marginal?
He only had about 5 flights.
Okay. Were those a struggle, or did it come...
I wasn't there, because I'm not an instructor. I think his first one was in some bumpy air, and he thought, oh, this is kind of... I don't like this. But then he had several more flights, And he actually told me that his very last flight before he sold the motor was very nice. It was beautiful, nice summer day.
Did he do it on his own?
Well, I think he pretty much did it on his own.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was kind of odd, but so he said he got up and had a nice flight, and he just thought it wasn't for him. And so I called him back, and I asked him a few things. I'm like, well, what was it? He said, well, I thought powered paragliding was really neat. I really enjoyed it, but he said he's a stick and rudder guy. I guess he likes the control of that. And of course, and then I come to find out that he went to like 3 different states last weekend, just on the weekend, zooming around here and there.
In an airplane.
Maybe he likes in an airplane, and maybe he likes the mobility better.
That's interesting. Yeah.
But I'm like, well, what about the low and slow flying? I mean, you can't beat that. You can't get that even in your ultralight. He goes, oh yeah, I really like that, but
it just wasn't enough.
I guess it wasn't enough. So that to us hardcore PPGers, it's hard for me to understand that, because I've been up in many other airplanes. I'm like, oh, well, I feel like I'm in a little metal shell here.
Well, I mean, same here. I go up
if
in
I
airplanes.
want to go somewhere, I'll drive.
Right. Well, and I have a Bonanza. It's a little 4-place airplane. That's a great way to get somewhere. It's even kind of fun to fly, but there's just no comparison to me. I think it comes down to some people like Lindbergh cheese, and some people like Swiss cheese.
Right, and it could be that you just can't, pigeonhole stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's great, because he didn't say he didn't like it. He just, that wasn't his thing. So he sold his equipment after 5 flights.
That is remarkable.
Yeah, that is remarkable to me, because we just think it's so cool. So, Jeff, I thought, well, you've probably come across some people that, started it, maybe after a year just gave it up. I mean, did you ever ask them what the deal was? Or
the people who I have encountered that get out of the sport almost universally never got to a high state of ability, because it's almost like surfing, where, and that's why I was asking how much he struggled on launch, because I've seen people go out to the field and they take 4 or 5 attempts to launch. Well, a lot of us took 4 or 5 attempts to launch when it was warm and wet and calm and sticky, and you're hot and it's miserable. And if you don't get past that phase to where you're launching successfully, it seems like a lot of drudgery. I've seen people go out to the field, even people with some flight time, and never launch.
Yeah. That's a good point, Jeff. I'm glad you brought that up, because it very well may be that he had some difficulties and thought it wasn't worth the trouble.
Another thing I've found is there are some people who they do not have a knack for it. They don't hook up quickly to how to kite and have a feel for the wing. But if those people stick with it, I've also seen them become very competent, safe pilots who get to enjoy it a lot and who launch consistently. So just because someone may learn slowly, they may struggle, doesn't mean they're going to be that way all the time. And I think that what happens is people may struggle, they don't necessarily pick it up right away, but they don't want to give it a chance. So if you go out, in an airplane, you push that throttle forward, you're going to take off.
Right. Maybe that's a little more comfortable, a little easier.
Yeah.
And that's a good point that you bring up, because when it comes down to it, if there's 1 million people, there's 1 million different personality types. Some people are going to stick with it if it's difficult. Some people are not going to stick with it if it's difficult. Some people it will come naturally to.
Yeah.
And they'll love it. Some people it'll come naturally to, and perhaps they'll say, oh, well, that's not a big deal. I'm going to try skydiving. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, it's not exactly. So many different strokes. And you're right, all of these things come in degrees as well. So just like I marvel that people like golf enough to go out and, play it for many hours.
How many PPGers never had any other type of flight experience?
Yeah.
See, I can understand why he would say, well, I decided I like my ultralight better, or my little single engine, which, by the way, he built himself.
Oh, my.
Yeah, it's
That's patience.
Whitman Tailwind, if you've ever heard of that. A Whitman Tailwind, he built that. It looks beautiful. But so I can understand that. Well, I just like the other stuff. But I bet, I told him tonight, I said, I bet over 50% of powered paraglider pilots don't have any other aviation experience.
I'll bet you're right on.
And that's why they like it so much.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, of the people that I know that have aviation experience, they still cite the powered paraglider as the funnest way to fly. The airplane is fun in other ways, but the powered paraglider is the most personal and pure enjoyment type of flying. So
yeah, well, that's what I like to hear.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's me, and well, hey, we're out of time. Great show, very interesting.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right, yeah. So different strokes for different folks.
Indeed, and the website again to go see the fire video.
It actually is posted on ppgformorons.com.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Paul. Great time. That's it for the Powered Paragliding Show with Paul Anthem. I'm Jeff Goin, and you've been listening to the Powered Paragliding Show with Paramotor Magazine.
Closing time. Every new beginning comes from some other beginning.